Welcome to Beyond the Pages. I'm your host, Arlene Reyes from Donnelly.media. In this podcast, we go beyond the headlines, diving deep into the stories that matter with our team of journalists. Stay with us as we uncover the details, insights, and untold perspectives behind the news.
Donnelly.media presents Beyond the Pages. Captain Tree Service sponsors today's episode. When a disaster happens, call the captain. 856-796-3536.
Hi, today we have Taja Johnson, an on-staff associate editor with Donnelly.media publications of the Sun newspapers. And she's also part of the Voorhees Cultural Diversity Club, along with the South Jersey Informative Equity Project. We are happy to have Taja as part of the Donnelly.media family. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Arlene, for having me.
So Taja, we're going to talk about a story that you covered not too long ago about a program on one of the coaches that goes to take several of the students to the 76ers games. Can you give us a little more background on that?
Yes. So his name is Terry Myers. He's coach / founder of Berlin Community Center. They have a youth basketball program. He has been running youth clinics and camps for over 17 years now. They're based in Berlin at the community center across from Berlin Community Schools. He's also been ahead of their adult basketball program for 25 years. And this year was the first year he actually started a youth program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because my question is, when did he start this? So he just started this. This is his first year?
Yes. So he just started the youth program. Well, taking them to the 76ers facility for 1 year now.
Okay. And then how are the students chosen?
So they're chosen pretty much randomly. Majority of the students that are involved with the program, they're from Berlin and from Voorhees, but he is open now to students from Gibbsboro area, the surrounding areas of Berlin and Voorhees.
Okay. And then are the 76ers at all involved with the program at all?
The 76ers aren't involved personally, but he has connections there being a seasonal pass holder. It was kind of like a word of mouth thing. So he kind of just heard about the program and how he's able to bring students there. And that's how he
So he's able to bring students there based on because he's a season pass holder.
Yes.
Okay. So
and
this is just a perk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. So now, is Terry Myers a teacher in one of the towns?
So Terry is not a teacher. He's a basketball coach in Berlin.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And how long has he been coaching in Berlin?
So for 25 years total. He started with a men's adult basketball team, and it just grew from word of mouth, and he opened it up to the youth.
Okay.
So players starting at age 4 and all the way up to high school.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is an independent basketball league that he
Yes.
coaches for.
Yes.
Okay. Is he able to bring all of the students that are part of the youth program, or is it just some?
So he is able to bring everyone there. What he does, he kind of breaks them up individually into different groups, depending on age or their skill level. So he breaks them up. He makes about, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 to 5 different teams, and they just compete on different levels.
Okay. And then what about this story? How did you come to know about this story, and what made you want to write or inform our readers about it?
Yeah, so the type of reader I am, I would like to say a human interest reader. So I like to really get involved in the community and go out there. Terry and I were connected through their mayor in Berlin. He reached out and said, I want you to meet this person. He's really involved with our youth out here. And come to find out, Terry also works with youth in Voorhees, which I'm a resident of as well. So that's how, I found out about the story through Terry. He also did one last year with the students. So it was really interesting to cover.
Was there any details of the students that Terry shared with you that makes him, I would say excited to to have created this program?
Yeah, so he did share a few students. There was one in particular. I don't want to say names because they're so young.
No, that's fine.
But there was one student in Voorhees and one in Berlin. He's actually coached the student from Berlin since he was 4 years old. So Terry is able to see these kids kind of grow into, different, their own personality and see their skill level grow when it comes to basketball. So I feel like those type of things make him enjoy coaching, and he's really, happy with that. Another student, he kind of helped him. He was having a hard time making friends. So Terry invited him and told his parents about it to come out to the basketball league. And he's seen a big difference with him as well, as far as his confidence level.
All
So,
right, that's
yeah.
great. Is there anything that you would like to share with whoever's watching or listening in addition to what we discuss on the story or what's, in the actual article that we would have the details on the description for this episode? Is there anything in addition that you would like to share?
I would like to share that he is, going to extend this out to other students. It's not just kids from Berlin and Voorhees. So if anyone is in the Camden County area, feel free to go to terrymyers.com. You can sign your kids up. That your kid will learn the game from, their different skill levels. Terry will sit there and help them coach, and he does help the kids on a personal level. So it's
Okay.
also a mentoring program, I would say, for different students to get involved if parents feel the need to get their child in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. And you had also shared a story about someone trying to get a petition signed to get additional a day off for Diwali.
Yes.
And so tell us a little more about that.
Yes, so Arav Jain, he's a Eastern Regional High School graduate. Arav and I have spoken. We are actually not residents, but we live in the same town. Very intelligent young man. He has been fighting to see, different diversity things happen in our town. We do live in a Jewish neighborhood, and he wants to, make it more multicultural, which is the type of writer I am as well. So this story was very interesting. Rob actually wrote a petition to have our Board of Education approve Diwali as a holiday that was seen just like Christmas or Hanukkah or even Kwanzaa. And he was successful at it. He was able to get our school off for that day. So that
Okay.
was really exciting, for people who do celebrate Diwali.
And how long was this process for him?
The process, I would say, was about a couple months, I believe. I don't have the exact time
Time.
frame, but
Okay.
yeah.
And then do you know what exactly was the process?
Yeah, so what he did, he found a group of individuals who also practiced Diwali and the same beliefs. They all share the same thing. So what he did was start his petition. He wrote it up. He created a website for it where anyone can log on there and sign the petition. Once he came to a certain amount, he presented it to our school board. And I know he put up a big fight for it. And, thankfully it was approved by the board.
So was it only the one particular school board where he went to or
Yes,
okay. All
the
right.
one
And then do
particular.
you think that this model would be used for other schools or, you know, is this being shared with people in other communities where maybe they also observe a different holiday that's not currently observed by the school district?
I do feel like people can be inspired by a story, even if it's not Diwali isn't looked at as a particular holiday in their school district. I do feel like this is a stepping stone. He was able to achieve it in a, predominantly Jewish area. So I do feel like if people do feel the need to start a petition in their area, they definitely could. So what inspired Terry with the whole youth basketball program slash men's basketball team is that once he started it 25 years ago, he saw how big it grew from word of mouth. There were parents who came up to him and they kind of were looking for different avenues for their kids to get out there and be involved in a community or, different sports that the school may not have been offering. The good thing about that was that the parents did kind of they I wouldn't say fight for something else, but they did. They went to Terry, they kind of all rallied and asked them, can their kids be involved? And that's how, what really inspired him to start this program, I would say. And just word of mouth. The parents kind of put it out there and the news spread to Voorhees as well. As I mentioned before, Terry is widening his program. It's not just Voorhees and Berlin, but he is allowing kids from Pine Hill and Gibbsboro to get involved in it as well.
So now do they have to try out for the team?
They do have to try out. The good thing about that is that he doesn't care what level you're on. You can be a beginner, you can be someone who's been playing for years or, kind of intermediate level. He will pick your student up, your child boy or girl, anyone could be a part of the team. So
Okay,
they're
so
not
it's
gonna
not gender
it's
exclusive.
not gender exclusive. The article was boys because that's just who signed up at that time, but there's girls who are involved as well.
So when the students are participating, is it teams within the same organization or is it teams that are within another maybe youth organization that they play against?
No, so when they're competing, do you mean like on
Mhm.
the basketball level?
Yes.
It is people in different organizations.
Okay.
Some of the kids, obviously they all live in the same town. You have kids from Voorhees and Berlin, so they've been playing on the same teams, but they do compete against different organizations as well.
All right.
He does offer a travel team and he offers just like a recreational team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then does this occur in your standard basketball season or does he try to do it off season in case they're playing with their school?
Yes, so he does off season and during the basketball season. He's actually starting up training this month. So it happens right after Christmas, I would say, and he that's when he kind of starts to keep them, busy throughout the year. So I would say me as a writer, you kind of gave a little context on my background, but I do feel like I am a diverse writer, I would like to call myself. I like to spread the word about, different cultures, backgrounds, religions. And that's really important, I do feel, because when we all, we're used to what we're used to in life. And me coming in as a writer, I do feel like it is important to get those backgrounds and those different stories on people in our towns that we live with or around. And sharing a story like what Terry does, he is very big on diversity and bringing inclusion and bringing all types of backgrounds and students together. It doesn't matter what age you are, what color you are, what religion. He's very big on allowing those students to come together and share that same experience, for the love of basketball with one another. I do think that's very important and having our kids communicate with each other and grow and learn different things together.
And then as a resident of
Hmm.
Voorhees, because it is a different hat that you wear,
Yeah.
not only are you reporting on uh, the town, but you also live there.
Yes.
So tell us a little more about that.
Yeah. So I've been in Voorhees, I would say, for 30 years. My whole life I was raised there. Really small community. Everyone, it's one of those towns where everyone knows each other. We
Mhm.
know everyone. I know the mayor and he's really great. He's the same way. He's very involved. You will see him at almost every event that we have in town. So being able to write stories for the town that I live in it feels rewarding in a way because I know what goes on that people who don't live there may not understand what's going on. So it's really fun in that sense.
Okay. And tell us a little bit more about your feelings on, you know, being a part of a weekly publication that's very hyper local news.
Yeah. So my feelings on that, I'm very busy most of the time. I'm not going to lie, I'm working on weekends, hours of the day, but it's a part of my experience and I actually love doing it. It's like I eat and breathe journalism. I pretty much like I share my phone number. That's how involved I am in each town that I cover. So it's not only Voorhees that I'm covering. I'm covering Berlin and Gloucester Township as well. So I do share my number with those readers or with the readers or even people that I'm doing stories on. And for me, it just makes it feel great because I feel like I'm a part of not just writing and sharing their stories, but I'm a part of what they're actually achieving out in town or what they're doing. Yeah.
So, Taja, what stories or what type of coverage are you looking to do for 2025?
Yeah, so right now there are two main stories in particular. One of the towns, Berlin Township, they're actually planning their 60th year anniversary in their town when it was founded. So there is an event being held this week and it should be out in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to gather some information on that and attend their event and see what's going on. So that's exciting. There's also another event held in Voorhees at Lucian's Manor. And it is just it's a resident appreciation award ceremony, which they hold every year. It's hosted by the Voorhees mayor, Michael Mignon. And I get to attend that as well and meet those participants and everyone who will be awarded that day.
How do you normally go about finding your stories?
So it's word of mouth. A lot of the residents, like I said, they either know me or they have my contact information. So when I'm at other events, I like to network and meet new people. So if they have a story, they just call me or text me and say, "Hey, I think you might be interested in this story. You should come out and check it out." So majority of the time that's how I find out, or I'll simply just get an email from an upcoming story. If I don't find stories that way, I am on social media all the time, either Facebook or Instagram. I like to read the town pages and see what's going on. So that's how I'm able to obtain a story.
And you do attend town meetings, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you're attending those town meetings, do you normally get more than one story or does it depend or how does
Yes.
that work out?
Sometimes I do gather more than one, sometimes no. Town meetings can be, hit or miss. So, for instance, if there's like different complaints going on at a town meeting, I can turn that into two different stories. I can use one half of that to kind of discuss what they've been talking about during the meeting and interview the person who has an issue or, kind of talk about their story separately.
What other types of meetings do you attend
I
to kind of
do
get?
attend school board. There's one coming up about school bullying, for instance. So I'm going to kind of go on there. It's an online meeting this time. So I'm able to watch from home and just see what they're talking about, see, gather some notes on that and see if I can interview someone who may be hosting the meeting or even a parent.
Are those a lot of the meetings still going on as virtual?
A lot of the meetings are. It's funny because you would think after COVID and everything clearing up that we would all be back in person, but a lot of those meetings are hosted online, particularly for the school ones. A lot of those I notice are through Zoom or Google Meets, so they are at home.
I want to thank you for stopping by today. And we did discuss a lot of different things, what it is to be a journalist in a hyperlocal news publication with Media. Also about Terry Myers and his youth basketball program. We will have more information on that. Was there anything else that you would like to add for our listeners?
Yeah, so I'm just really excited on what's to come in the new year. I'm looking forward to all the new stories that I can share with our readers. And if anyone is looking forward to me sharing their stories with our community, please feel free to reach out to me whenever, and I would love to attend your event.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
And
Taja.
thank you for having me.
That's a wrap for this episode of Beyond the Pages. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep reading between the lines.